Stitch Cuties, I'm Brittany.
And I'm Julie.
And together we're the mother-daughter duo of Stitches of Love. In this video today, we are going to talk about how to use a pre-printed hand embroidery design sticker. I love these.
That's a mouthful.
I know. Bloop, 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 bloop. You can just call it a sticker.
We'll call it a sticker.
Absolutely. I will. So using it is so easy. And Mom, you're going to walk us through the steps.
Yes, let me show you.
So first we start by trimming our excess.
Right. This sticker is printed on an 8.5 by 11. So we don't need to put all of this on our fabric. So what I'm going to do.
And the reason behind that is the less that you put on your fabric, the less you dissolve away at the end.
Right. But you do want to have a margin around your stitching area. You don't want to trim like really close to her feet or anything. So I'm just going to trim this off right here.
And you're using Karen K. Buckley medium scissors.
Mm-hmm.
And you can, of course, use any scissors.
And a lot of times I'll curve it. I don't know why. It seems gentler to me.
There you go.
Friendlier sticker. Am I still in the...
You're still in the shot.
Okay. But I do like to give myself some space around it. That might be a little too much.
Also, it makes a funny sound.
It certainly does.
It's
Must
kind of
sound
squeaking.
great. Okay.
You want me to take your trash?
Yes, please. There you
Trash. There we go.
Okay, so now I have my sticker trimmed, and I have my fabric that I'm going to stitch on. It may be difficult for y'all to see what's white.
Yeah, no,
White
you're
fabric.
good right there.
Okay, so my sticker here, this is basically like a fusible little, very lightweight. You'll see when I peel it away, but it's a paper backing. You can see the paper shiny. And then I usually just go like this, and you'll see it's just get a little corner and get it started just like any sticker.
And it is sticky. You don't want to stick it on itself. You do want to be careful.
See there?
Beautiful.
Yeah, so be careful with it. I like to have my piece already pressed. It's easier to put your sticker on if your fabric isn't all wrinkled. And then I just kind of center it. My piece that I'm stitching on is oversized for what I'm doing. And then if you notice, I am just smoothing this with my fingers. You do not, please do not put an iron on this. Makes everything unhappy.
If you use an iron, your iron will get gunky.
Okay, and then because I know that I'm, like in this case, I'm not going to get this all stitched in one sitting.
What?
I know. I'm not that fast.
I don't think most of us are we?
Like, I may not be fast at all. So I just use, a lot of times I would just go to the sewing machine and I'll put it on a large, long basting stitch, and I'll just baste close to the edge where it's going to hold it.
May I ask a question that I would ask you before I did it to remind me, how long of a stitch would you take on your sewing machine if you used your sewing machine?
I would go to the longest basting stitch I have available. Different machines have different. Some of them go like to 5, and some of them go to 7.
Oh.
So I would use whatever I had the longest. You know, your goal is just to get this to, my point with this is to have it stay on here and be a little neater. I don't like.
Keep your edges neat.
I don't like it all messy.
Absolutely.
You can keep it long, and you don't have to trim this off if you don't want to, but trust me, when it comes time to dissolve the sticker, it's easier to have less to dissolve.
Exactly. And we'll show you dissolving in a moment. Do you mind if I'm sorry to?
Oh, there I am.
There you go. Now you can see your baste.
I didn't make my knot big enough, so that just kind of pulled through, but it won't matter. So just basically, you get the gist of this. You baste around enough just to hold it. That's all we're trying to do is hold this in place. It's going to come off, you know, when you're done stitching. You're going to
remove those.
Yeah, when you dissolve, it'll be just the thread will still be basted into your background.
Do you trim away your basting thread before you dissolve, or you just wait till the end?
It
doesn't matter.
Probably have done either. I don't know.
Okay, I didn't know if it made a difference. I'd probably remove it before I dissolved it, just so.
And then because of me, the way I think, I would go with a white thread, but we use black just so you guys could see.
Exactly. I wanted contrast on the camera for you.
Pretty much everybody knows how to baste.
Do you want to show a basted project?
Yes, I will show you. This is a project that I have completed with the sticky. The design was printed on this sticker. Am I in the?
You're good, yeah.
And let's see if you can see.
Perfect. Beautiful.
I have basted right out here with my sewing machine.
It does make it stay very nice and tidy in your hoop.
Mm-hmm. And I didn't do this all at one time, and you could see it lifted up a little bit right there, but it's nice and it's still neat, what I consider neat. So that's just how I did it.
Perfect.
So now, would you like me to show hooping it?
Yes. So of course, after you have it in place, you would do all of your stitching, which we have a series of video tutorials with specific stitches. In this tutorial, we're not going to actually stitch anything on this, but you can watch all the other videos with specific stitching.
Yeah. So what I've selected here is an 8-inch hoop, which
you get the majority of your design.
Just about gets the whole thing in here. You got to be careful because you want to have room to make your stitch. You can get it up close, but you get it too close, you won't be able to do your actual stitch.
And you can always re-hoop,
move it. Yeah,
exactly.
Just move it. But I like to not have it in my way. Oh, another thing I like to do too, on my fabric, a lot of times I will zigzag this or take it to the serger and serge along the edges just so they don't have little frays coming out, because I do not like to have a tickle on my hand. That's just me.
No ticklish fabric allowed.
Yeah. So with this nerd hoop,
that's funny.
This nerd hoop here, I've got it tightened, kind of finger tight, and it's all lined up just right. And then I would take my screwdriver, my cute little screwdriver, and put it in here.
Adorable.
In the little screw and tighten it down. You don't have to get it super tight, but
you want to be able to undo it at the end of your stitching.
Well, you can always undo it with the screwdriver.
No, but I'm saying you could still tighten it so tight that...
Yeah. And I have a little bit of flexibility here because I find when I stitch, I like that little bit of...
A little bit of give.
A little bit of flexibility.
Okay, that's good to know.
So there it is.
I always have a sense that I need to pull it like as tight as I can, but I always feel like that's bad for the fabric.
Yeah. So we have this now ready to stitch. And so I would thread up in my case, a number 7 with my Sulky 12 weight floss threads, petitables,
your
blendables in a petite spool. That's very specific, but I would thread it with whatever floss I was using or thread and start stitching.
So now we're going to have a change in venue in this video, and we are going to go to our office kitchen, and you're going to show us how to dissolve a stitched design.
I'll dissolve this one.
All right. So before we go to the kitchen, just want to let everybody know the kitchen is not set up as a studio, and it's going to have running water. So during that, the sound may not be great. So if you don't mind, give just a few tips about dissolving before we go to where the sound maybe isn't as good.
Okay. So what I do, what works for me is I turn my water on and get it to like a lukewarm temperature. So it's not as hot maybe as I would take a shower with, but it's... because I like a hot shower, but it's
tell us more, Mom.
Well, it's like what you would maybe
what you would wash your hands with.
It's just really warm water.
There you go.
And what you'll find when you put it under the water, you'll see the stickers start to dissolve
instantly.
It starts dissolving, and I watch it. Now, as it dissolves, sometimes I'll just rub it in places. You might want to be careful. Like these are French knots. I wouldn't rub vigorously on my French knots or something that was a looser stitch, like say a lazy daisy, because I will probably distort it if I am aggressive with my rubbing. But you really don't have to rub too much.
It really does dissolve very quickly. It sort of
dissolves right away, and you see it just go down the drain. Once I have it dissolved, then I like to, particularly if I used yellow, sometimes yellow is difficult to get the printed design from underneath it. Sometimes the little bit of ink that's on the sticker it doesn't stay on the yellow. It's just under there.
It's just more visible somehow.
So which probably tells me that really the rest of it's the same way. But I will then put the stopper in the sink and fill it with lukewarm water and let it just sit there for about 30 minutes. And then I come back, let the sink drain, turn the water back onto the warm water again, and I kind of do the whole process again just to make certain that it's nice and
yes, after
gone.
it is dissolved, you lay it on a nice towel and you gently roll it up and wring it out. And then once that air dries, you can do a visual check to make sure that you got everything. So before you iron it and consider it dissolved, you want to give a visual check, because you can always, as Mom said, or as Julie said, sorry, I'm always going to call her Mom in videos, you can rinse it and repeat that process several times if you need to. I've never needed to do it more than just a second time if I miss something. Have you?
No, I don't have any trouble dissolving it. You don't want to put any soap in the water. Don't worry about it. The water, just plain water, is going to take this away if you use warm water and you follow these instructions.
And it is really fun to watch it disappear. I find it very pleasing.
Yeah.
It's like watching people pressure wash something. It's just fun. Yeah. Okay, so let's go to the kitchen sink. See you there.
Okay, everybody, now I'm ready to dissolve this little design. And I have my water running, and it's pretty much lukewarm. Not burning my fingers or anything. So, the fun part is you just stick it in here under the water, and you will see, as Brittany says, it will disappear right before your eyes. See there? It's just going away. You can see my stitching where I basted it, maybe. And I just let it.
Oh, look, you can see it just rinsing away.
Yep. And I just let it go. Are we getting enough light on this where everybody can see?
I think so.
Okay.
And we're almost there already. That's almost all the way dissolved.
Yep, this is dissolving very nicely. You can feel it with your finger. It feels kind of slimy, I suppose. But when it's gone, you don't feel that anymore. So that's another way you can tell that it's all gone.
And you want to make sure to rinse it all the way off the bottom of your fabric as well.
Yeah, now you can also, when it's wet, see how I cheated and traveled on my French knots. But I want to make sure that this is all gone. I want to pay close attention and inspect my yellow or any very light thread that you use. You want to make sure that it's all gone behind it, which I think it is.
Yeah, this dissolves so nicely.
And I would not have traveled like this, I'll tell you, with my French knots, except this is going to be a little pin cushion, and it's going to be stuffed, so it will not be visible. And then I like to make sure that I rinse outside the area. Like if this was going in a quilt, I want to make sure that I don't have any of that residue out in the outer bits that might be in my block. So basically, rinse your piece of fabric very thoroughly. And I think I have.
That looks great.
You can see my line where I stitched it, basted the piece down. So I'm just going to give this a little gentle squeeze here. Not much. And then I open it back up. And over here I have just a kitchen towel, hand towel.
And just to reiterate, everyone, this is our office kitchen.
Yeah, so.
Don't judge. Our house kitchens are nicer.
Yeah, so this, I just lay it on here and then I just start rolling it.
And this is just a regular kitchen towel, correct?
Yeah, it's just a terry cloth towel. You can use whatever kind of towel you want. A terry cloth towel, I think, has more absorbency than, say, a linen, like a hand towel. Or, a dish towel, whatever I'm trying to say. So anyway, just roll it up and then I give it extra squeezes. This, in my theory, is helping prevent a bunch of wrinkles.
And drying it out more.
Yeah. So there it is, and it is, I can tell that it's less wet.
It looks great. So then you would just allow this to air dry, correct?
I do. you can hang it over a towel rack or just anything. I've been known to hang it across the dining room chair when I had multiples. So, but they dry, it usually dries pretty quickly, and then you're ready to proceed with whatever you're doing with your pretty little stitch.
Well, thanks for those tips, Julie. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. It was fun to stitch. Happy stitching.